All of that's turned off. Welcome, guys. Welcome. And welcome to a new show. This one here is called Midnight Coffee, guys. Yeah. We are hoping you guys will enjoy the show. So, all you're going to be hearing is basically just two people having a conversation. I have with me today Hassan.
Hello.
Hassan, say hello, man. Don't be shy,
All
bro.
right, guys. Hello, everyone.
Louder, bro. Louder. Come on, man. I need to hear you.
It's midnight coffee, innit? It's casual. It's casual.
Yes, and we're just gonna be having random conversations, guys. Um,
So, what do you want to talk about?
well, we were having a great conversation yesterday
Yeah.
in regards to KD. What's going on, bro? Wait, is this live? Yes,
Yeah,
KD, it
we're
is
live,
live. It
yeah.
is live. Yesterday we were having a great conversation about communism and capitalism.
Yeah, it's very casual discussion. Just me and you, just catching up and talking and being the the intrigue type. Both of us. It didn't start off with capitalism. We started talking about Hamas and all that stuff, and then it slowly shifted towards capitalism, communism, and whatever. How
Yes,
you ended up saying how the West is slowly shifting towards communism, and you were expressing that.
we're actually talking about the greatest evil. Which
So-
one? Which one is the greatest evil? Communism or capitalism? That's what we actually were talking about. Yeah, we did go on about Hamas and Israel.
Yeah, because that's
And so-
something I'm really interested in.
Yeah?
Yeah, very
Let's
interested.
do it, bro. Let's do it. But I want to.
'Cause I'm obsessed with it right now because it's really interesting how it's really just.
You're obsessed because there's so many Muslims.
You know what? I've never understood that point.
So many.
Muslims are dying.
The entire
Death is
the entire world
Yeah,
is literally watching. The entire world is literally watching what's going on
yeah, yeah,
in Gaza right now
yeah,
between Hamas and Israel. So
Yeah.
the entire world is literally watching that.
yeah.
Is that part of the reason why you are
No.
so interested in it?
No, it's the it's the lying, to be honest, because it's 1,400 people
Mm,
attacked by Hamas
mm.
in Israel.
Mm.
All types of, and I condemn it, by the way, if anybody's wondering. I condemn Hamas and I condemn what they do,
Yeah.
or what they did. But then it goes from the greatest atrocity since the Holocaust, and then it's kill, bomb, kill. Don't blame us, blame Hamas. It's like, come on, guys. It's just, is it violence for violence? Is it murder for murder? Is it death of innocence for death of innocence? I don't know. I don't have a stomach
Isn't that what the Jews believe though? Hold on, before we
Yeah.
go, KD, let me know if you guys if you can hear me and Hassan
clearly.
clearly, yeah?
Yeah.
Just let me know if you guys can hear us clearly, yeah?
And it's midnight coffee. That's why it's so late.
Yeah, it's midnight coffee. That's why it's so late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. We are drinking coffee, if you're wondering, guys. And
Yeah. Oh, you just mentioned. Yeah, we are drinking coffee, guys. So you're gonna be seeing these shows regularly.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the Russia-Ukraine war. People
Oh,
forget.
that's so interesting.
That's interesting as well. Yeah.
It went from this Putin is the greatest threat to humanity, Western civilization, to we'll deal with you later.
Yeah, we'll deal with it later. Let's deal with the Hamas situation first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Jews believed in the night for a night, two for a two.
Yeah. Okay, so your argument is their belief system undermines their behavior. I don't think that's how it works in a global sense, right?
You don't think that what a person believes in affects how they behave and how they?
Not a nation, not a. It's just no. I don't think in such philosophical terms when it comes to nation. I think it's more because I see Israel as a large military base, a Western military base. That's all I see it as. And it so happened conveniently is the homeland of the Jews. And unfortunately, the Jewish community faced the Holocaust. Therefore, they were repatriated to a place that was safe and suitable for them, that the international community considers to be safe and suitable for them and will support them no matter what. I just see Israel as a large military base, just like I see Saudi Arabia as a large military base, a US military base, right?
But
I
are
don't
you
see-
looking? Are you
when it
look-
comes to these political or poetic beliefs of their beliefs, no. I think no.
Well, I mean, ask yourself, because you're answering your own question.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, why did the Jews, after they were scattered,
Yeah.
all over the world
Yeah.
by the Romans in
Yeah.
132,
Yeah.
why did the Jews always dreamed of coming back to Judea, even though
Is Judea Israel?
it's not, hold on, it's not Judea. Judea would be the land of the Jews, which is Israel. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Is it that large? Or
sorry?
is it just a part of Jerusalem? Slightly? Does it stretch?
No,
all
no,
the
no,
way
no.
to Tel
It
Aviv?
actually stretches into, like
Syria.
even where
Gaza.
Gaza is right now, all of that is
Just-
actually what Israel used to be.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So they've always dreamed of coming back to that land.
Sure.
And the argument I'm trying to make is, remember what I said, your ideology affects the way you think and behave.
Mhm.
If what you're saying is
Mhm.
was right,
Yeah.
then the Jews, I mean, they've already been scattered around the world.
Yeah.
Then they would have just been focusing. They would have just been focusing, creating a life for themselves wherever it is that they were
Wherever they
scattered
are,
in.
yeah.
So, but it's this ideology of coming back to Israel, coming back to Judea, which would have been Palestine at the time.
Yeah. Is that based in the scripture?
But no. But yeah, the scriptures in the Old Testament, God promises them this land. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And
Then does he not kick them out and say, "Okay, you'll be scattered across the world now"?
no, he doesn't kick them out,
Okay.
but he promises them this land. He promises this land. He takes them out of Egypt, and you see them, and from the point they are out of Egypt, they are basically being taken across to Israel, right? And in that land, loads of other different people lived in, and so on. And there's wars, and but it's all part of God's promise to give them that land. Give that land to them. So what I'm saying is that ideology there affects the way they behave, affected the reason why they are fighting for this land and they want this land so bad. That's the reason why this is going on.
Fair enough.
And this is why I say that's why Hamas always also feels entitled to that land.
Yes.
For whatever religious reasons. And this is where the conflict is. It's all to do with your belief system. Your belief system basically affects how you behave. Hamas.
No, not necessarily. Well,
Don't you think so?
The way you behave, maybe, but how successful you are has a great, as we discussed before, it takes great resource and coercion and commitment. It's what you believe is what you can believe. You have people who believe that black people are the original Jews and whatever of Israel, or, whatever it is, right? Now, those people, they don't have billions of dollars in military funding. They don't have the global community supporting them. So their ideas stick to being on pamphlets and leaflets and fancy costumes. It doesn't relate to anything in practicality or reality, right? What else is there? I think it's just less philosophical, less poetry, more military funding, more global interest.
Yeah, but the Jews, since 132, when they were scattered, they never left. By the way, I just want to say out there, they never really left the Jewish land. Yeah, most of them were scattered around the world.
Yeah.
And there was when the Ottoman Empire kind of took over.
Yeah.
First you had the Caliphate, then you had the Ottoman Empire. When they took over, the Arabs living in there would have been the majority, but the Jews, they would have still been there.
Yeah.
But my point is, at that time when they were scattered, they didn't have no military power. This took a very long time. It took a very long time for this to be realized. For them coming back to Israel for it to be realized. So your argument is that
it's World War II.
It's
World War II.
No, bro. We're going back to in 132, the Jews revolt against the Romans.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Jews used to revolt against the Romans all the time. They used to always go against the Romans and so on. So what basically happens in 132, the Romans had enough of them. They wanted to get rid of them. All right. They wanted to kill all of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the majority of them spread to different parts of the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And what basically happened after that was the Jews, the Romans, in order to offend the Jews, renamed the land Palestina or something like that.
Okay.
And then later the British renamed Palestine. You see what I'm saying? That's how the name came about.
Yeah.
So but what I'm saying is, since that time, 132, it took the Jews never stopped believing that one day they will come back to that land. You see what I'm saying? And that has to do with their ideology. And this is why my argument is different from yours, because I'm saying, because of that belief, they could have just settled wherever they scattered at, but they didn't. They couldn't. And it took a very long time for them to get the political power behind them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they currently have now. But the fact that they kept fighting for it, even though they had no military power, even though they had no political power, it took a very long time for them to achieve that.
Yes.
And get to that point.
Okay.
And that's basically what do you call it? That is basically, that's why I say what a group of people, or a person or a group of people believe in will affect how they think and behave. That's why when I look at Hamas themselves, they say, according to them, they have a belief system. That's their belief system. They believe that land belongs to them. It does not belong to the faith. They have a belief system that said that this should be whatever. That's their position. But it all comes from the belief first. You see what I'm saying? If it wasn't for that, why would they be sacrificing themselves? Why fight a war that you can't win? If it wasn't for that strong belief, why? Just move to Egypt. Just move to Egypt, bro.
Okay, fair enough.
Stop sacrificing so many people, so many Palestinians' lives.
You've repeated you've said this, you're very firm on this. This is a firm belief that you have. I know you do, because you repeated it more than once.
No,
and I accept it. The belief system has an influence over the person's behavior. I get it. I accept
it. If you can rebuttal that,
I don't have the energy to.
If you can rebuttal
I put up a good argument. Fair enough.
You reckon?
Enough. You've convinced me enough for me not to argue against it. A person's belief system can influence their behavior.
No, but you think it's military influence?
I think you can have 10 gallons or 100 gallons of an infinite number of gallons of fuel. Without the spark, it means nothing.
I agree with you.
And I think the larger the spark, the less fuel is required.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're making. I know what your argument is. Your argument is
Israel is a military base.
It doesn't matter how much they believe. It doesn't matter how much they allow it to affect how they think and behave. Eventually, if you don't have that military power,
it means nothing.
If you don't have that
the support
of politicians and countries, then it won't mean absolutely nothing. I absolutely agree with you. But it's because of that belief and affecting how they think and they behave that they seek out for that political power, however long it takes. However long it takes, they will always continue to look for that spark that will give them that military power. And when you look at the history of the Jews, you kind of see that happening. Because of this
I see what you're saying.
They kept fighting, but you're right. Unless you have USA behind them, unless you have all of this, I mean, what can they really do?
What can they do?
Do you see what I'm saying? But
so you're telling me as well, you get a bit of pushback from the Muslim community about some of your views and such.
I don't know why. I've had there's this guy. I just checked it on Facebook.
Okay. Today.
He's been calling me all types of crazy names, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Check this out.
Is it Octavio with a lower case O?
No, the Solution Podcast Facebook. Check this out.
Wow.
Just to give you an idea of how bad this is. It's really bad, by the way. And he works himself up as well to a rage. This is just an example. This just happened. This was 2 hours ago.
Okay.
All right. Backwards. Listen to Kevin Gates. Get a clue and grow up, you silly cunt.
Oh wow.
Hold on. He goes, what is it? Hold on a second. Why are you fighting for wars and governments and not focusing on yourself and your own weaknesses, or putting the energy into helping your family, loved ones? Instead, you're trying to be self-righteous about something you weren't even alive for back in the days. This is the video for the Andrew Tate video.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not being disingenuous. Your context is clearly yours, unanswered by him because he has another angle first and foremost, as do you. You must understand. I wanted to listen to next part of this before you smugly recontextualized in your own context. Do you see how this works? Where no one tries to understand the next person's point of view. More to the point, people believe that celebrities have to give more than they are prepared to give. What else did he say? Is that enough context for you? Even posting this, you are giving attention to someone who generates income from your involvement. Andrew Tate is irrelevant. Problem is for you, you are. This is all the same person, by the way.
Mhm.
Problem is for you, you are irrelevant, and you're using him to generate interest in you. How sad you are, little man. Then he called me thick as fuck, aren't ya? Fuck yourself, you prick.
Wow.
You, my friend, are a fool. Fuck off.
Wow. Wow.
Yo, shout out to KD, man. KD says every environment is very important. I think I wasn't listening to you guys, then my mindset would be a bit. Environment is important. I think if I wasn't listening to you guys, then my mindset would be a bit different. Everyone is influencing to an extent. That's true. That's true. But this guy is not necessarily Muslim.
Mhm.
I don't know if he is or not, but the way he's getting offended, it sounds like
But judging by the name, it doesn't look Muslim.
doesn't sound Muslim, yeah. But for the Muslim ones, for that video that I did, that reaction that I did on Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate will not condemn Hamas, refuses to condemn Hamas. Yeah, they're upset. They're upset, and that shows that it's clear that the Islamic world is supporting Hamas. I don't know if it's support. I don't know if it's hold on. I don't know if it's support for Hamas or anger towards Israel.
Yeah.
It could be both. You see what I'm saying?
I personally don't know anybody in the Muslim community that supports Hamas.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Not on YouTube, not in my personal life, nowhere. Most of us, only a very, very ignorant person who doesn't know. It's an extremely ignorant thing to support because they're, as I said, remember I told you, they will be classified as Khawarij.
Okay.
You remember the dogs of hellfire thing I said?
Yeah, the dogs of hellfire. Yeah.
These are people who are they go to the extremes and but still try to represent the faith.
So what do you make of all these protests that you're seeing on the streets?
I think it's ignorance for those who would not classify Hamas as a terrorist organization, right? Is what other way can you describe? Anybody who wouldn't describe them as a problem, right, is ignorant. Protesting, fair enough, I guess, is to protest the bombardment because it doesn't make sense to kill innocents in response to the death of innocents, and all that. The protests, I guess generally they're fine. You're always gonna have fun, have ignorant.
No, but even in Piers Morgan, when he's had loads of Muslims coming in, including Muhammad Hijab is one of them. And most of them refuse to condemn.
Oh yes, that I understand. That I definitely understand.
You see what I'm saying?
I definitely get that. I feel comfortable condemning Hamas because I'm not a political commentator or like Muhammad Hijab, or I'm not I don't have a large following like Andrew Tate. It's the double standard. Do you condemn Hamas, the people who kill 1,400 people?
Yeah.
But there's no mention of do you condemn Israel? They've killed 14,000 roughly, even if the numbers are fake. Even if the number is 1,400 and
Because
one,
Hamas is the one giving out these numbers, right?
something like this.
Yeah.
I hear the sources aren't that reliable. I hear the numbers aren't that
Like,
reliable.
even if it wasn't, but don't you believe that Israel has the right to retaliate?
I'm sure they do.
Let's say, taking all the conspiracies out, that this was a setup by Israel,
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Let's say it really did happen.
Yes. Every nation, it has the option.
Yeah, if you know these people have this ideology,
Yes.
and you've tried everything to make peace with them,
Yes.
or sometimes you failed or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they decide to attack your people and kill innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you believe that you
It's
as
to
a
be
Muslim,
expected.
don't you? Exactly. Isn't that expected?
I think it should be expected. Yeah.
Isn't that expected?
Yeah. Which begs the question: why did Hamas do it? Is that what you're gonna?
Well, yeah, we can go into that,
Okay.
but I was just trying to get to the point. If it's expected, then why is everyone upset about the innocent casualty, the innocent civilian casualty? Because we know in wars, innocent people die, right?
Just for the sake of the audience, I
Mhm.
do have a coffee, and I'm sipping my coffee responsibly.
I have a coffee. So I need to get another one. I'm already done with my one.
So what's your question again? It blew my mind to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
point
yeah.
where I wiped my memory of what you asked.
If Israel has a right to retaliate,
Yeah,
because of what happened on October 7th,
why
is everyone upset that there's innocent civilian casualties when we know that in
because
wars
they have the option of not doing that. The objective of Hamas seemed like, from face value, from what we see, would be to attack Israel. I can't think of any other reason, because you can. It's a population of what, 6 million or something like that. I don't know what percentage. I don't know what population is. Right, I have to double check. But millions in number. Did they really think they could fly in with hang gliders and tuxedo shoes and whatever else they were
tuxedo shoes, bro? You forgot
they look like
the Real Madrid t-shirts.
Yeah, they look like the crew from Home. It's like a Home Alone, it's a Christmas theme as well. It's December as well, so they have like the whole Home Alone get up.
Nah, bro. Hold on. When that October,
it was a mishmash. They literally flew over with a hang glider over a tower. This is a cell tower.
Yeah.
And they literally pulled out a grenade and dropped it. That's some Home Alone thing, bro.
Bro, I lied,
That's
bro.
some Home Alone.
Bro, but they had that. Some of them had the outfits. Some of them had they had the green and the fatigue.
There wasn't nothing to go around.
Bro, man.
I'm telling you, man.
But don't they have the? So you're saying that the way Israel is going about it should be different?
They have the option, man. If I'm sitting there, I have enough military support. I can call Joe Biden. Before I call Joe Biden, he's calling me and telling me, "Don't worry, we have a battleship by the harbor, which was which was set up to go there in the first place.
Yeah,
it was scheduled to go there. So it's not as if they just turned around. We have, if anybody cuts oil from me, we have oil come from Azerbaijan or Turkmenistan or wherever it is, right? We have everything to come your way if needed, and we have rows and rows of whether it's Lockheed Martin or Boeing made nuclear weapons, atomic bombs, bombs, right? They look like atomic bombs because they're large. Just ready to go. Whenever you make the call, and don't worry, we'll pay for it. Ukraine, don't worry, we'll divert attention from Ukraine to you. Don't worry. We'll take the Ukraine flag down on a hashtag, whatever it is, and we'll put Israel. They literally. I think it was on the White House, the whole of Europe was lighting up their government buildings with the Israeli flag.
Because of what happened.
Yeah, France, Germany. It was, where did they get all these projectors from?
But that doesn't get rid of Hamas.
No. It says to you, you can do whatever you want. Right? And we'll full support you. Now, your enemy not only is undermanned, underfunded, undersupplied, underpopulated, malnourished. 50% of them are kids under the age of 14, right? Not only that, we're putting your nation's flag on our government buildings, right? And we're going to call it your 9/11, right? As if 9/11 is a marker of all the tragedies of all tragedies or whatever, right? Whatever it is, right? And of course, it's a tragedy, but whatever, right? But it gives you an indication. 3,000 died there. Almost 1 million plus died in Iraq, and plus the war on terror causing so many other deaths.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't worry, it's fine. You can
Weapons of mass distractions.
Yeah.
Or destruction.
That's it. So I have everything at my disposal. What can I do? I won't drop bombs because it's just too easy. Like fish in a barrel, at least the fish can swim away. These guys can't even go to the south.
So how'd you do it? How would you do it?
You know, that's a great question.
So you did say they have Real Madrid shirts.
Yeah.
They have Barcelona shirts, tuxedo shoes.
Yeah.
So you're Israel, okay? The whole world has almost given you every support that there is because of what happened on October 7th. You know
what I would do?
Hold on. You know that you have to get rid of Hamas.
Yeah.
You know that this shit can't continue anymore.
Yeah.
These guys have to go. How would you do it?
Okay. First thing I would do, I wouldn't flood because again, my objective would be to minimize civilian deaths, right? But then again, I don't want to kill my own people. That's an issue as well, right? I don't want my soldiers to die, right? I don't have soldiers. Right?
Yeah, but most armies, They
don't want to kill.
They don't want their soldiers to die, but they want to kill the enemy.
Yes. But then on the other hand, I'm trying to go down the humanitarian road as an alternative to dropping bombs, carpet bombing, right? Which is what they're doing now, right? So you're
trying to go down the humanitarian road?
Yes, instead of carpet bombing, which is far easier, which is what they're doing now, just dropping bombs on
people.
And so that's the objective, isn't it? We're on the same page, right?
Yeah. Go on. I'll just do it.
Okay, cool.
No, because I just laugh at the word humanitarian. Like anytime, I've never seen a war being treated. Do you know this new thing, humanitarian wars? It's a really weird concept.
It's progress. It's humanity learning from its atrocities and saying never again. No more Holocaust. No more Belgium. What's that? Leopold.
A war is not a Holocaust. A war is.
We're avoiding human.
Yeah. Okay, that's the modern way of doing things, which I find, because there's nothing humanitarian about wars.
There is.
No. Yeah.
It's there. If you say there's nothing humanitarian about conducting war, just drop 3 or 4 atomic bombs and the job is done. Would you say that that's less humanitarian than it is sending in some special ops?
Less humanitarian.
Yes. So there's a scale. You're saying there is no scale of humanitarian war. I'm asking.
No. I'm saying in the war, this concept of humanitarian war is a new modern concept which never existed,
and is null and void.
Yeah.
And it's null and void, and it's pointless. You're saying.
I just don't see how you can have.
It's a misnomer.
Humanitarian.
It's a false. It's an oxymoron. Humanitarian war. They don't match yourself.
These people are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Humanitarian what?
Again, it's just what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
So there's no such thing as.
Okay, no. Sorry, I'll stop you from saying what your solution.
I'm just saying there is, because they could just drop 3 atomic bombs. The whole thing's done.
Facts.
Yeah, 3 or 4, and then that's it. No more Hamas.
America did that.
Yeah, they dropped 2. Yeah, that's it. They could drop 3 or 4, but drop that. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Within from they do October 7th. By October 9th, the whole issue is done. No more Hamas. More Gaza.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, one could not argue that's equivalent to sending in special ops. One could argue that sending special ops to find Hamas and kill them, hypothetically, is far more humanitarian than dropping atomic bombs.
So yeah, absolutely.
So there is yes.
So what you're saying is
this term isn't false.
So would you send these special ops in Madrid?
I'm not saying. We're just questioning humanitarian.
Yeah, go on.
So we accept that there is such a thing as humanitarian war, doing war in a humanitarian way, or doing war in a way.
It's a modern concept. I accept that.
But you accept it's plausible.
It's definitely to carry out a war in a humanitarian way
in an effort to reduce innocent death.
Yes, absolutely.
Fair enough. Cool. So move on from there. Okay. So what I would do is I wouldn't drop bombs because it's very difficult to tell a bomb kill only the guys wearing the Real Madrid tops or whatever it is, and the XL Real Madrid tops, not the mini, Real Madrid tops, which is the kids, right? Don't kill the kids. No bomb can tell the difference. It gets dropped and it destroys the building, right?
Yeah.
No amount of intelligence as well can confirm you're going to avoid killing innocent civilians, right? Using bombs, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would send in mercenaries.
Okay, send mercenaries.
Let them. I'll put a bounty. Just
Okay,
like they did in the Iraq War.
so send in mercenaries.
Yes, from all over the world. Send them from America. Send them from Europe. If you really care, if you're really willing to put your flag on my flag on your government building, let me hire some of your contractors. Because there's Blackwater or whatever it's called, and all these other private companies, which is former military people going into difficult situations for cash. They're expensive, right? But these are former military from the U.S. military, from the UK military.
So basically, go around to different countries that are in support of your cause.
Yes.
Hire mercenaries.
Yes.
Bring them over.
Charge a bounty.
Okay, and how would you carry out the actual operation?
So have a base in Israel, Tel Aviv. Say, come down.
Yeah.
Go into Gaza. Bring me this head, that head, that head. You get this much.
Okay.
Bring me this information, that information, this information. You get that much.
So would
do that for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever, however long it takes. It'll take maybe a year or two, and right? And at the least, we know where Hamas is, right? We know their tunnels. We've killed a few Hamas guys because as soon as the Hamas guys see the mercenaries, they're not going to hide away. They're going to start fighting them and dropping whatever it is. We'll get more intel, without risking our people. We're not paying for it as well. We'll get the US government and European governments to pay for it. So it won't affect our economy. Our soldiers are safe, right? Little to no innocent civilians have died. But if they do, you don't blame us. You blame the mercenaries. We say, oh, no, it's bad contractors. We hired the wrong agency, blah, blah. Fire this person, put that person in. New contractors, highest bidder wins. Cool, no problem, boom, 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 right? So that's that. So we get intel. And at best, we cut Hamas down. At worst, we get intel. Where the tunnels are, where they're not. Which hospitals they're in, which hospitals they're not. Right?
Okay.
And so on and so forth. Which hospitals we should need to clear, which hospitals we don't need to clear. And we save our civilians. Job done.
So let's say they find...
I just saved 1,400 potentially civilians' lives. It can be done. It can be done.
I don't think it can be done. That is crazy. Now,
how many of Iraq's Iraqi soldiers?
Let's say they find intel, right? Yeah. Of course, I'm assuming that these mercenaries are going to come in. They're not going to have mercenary written on them.
No, they'll have mercenary written on them.
Hold on, they'll blend in.
No, they won't. They'll have the gear.
They'll have the entire gear, they'll be easily recognizable.
Even if they didn't have the gear, it'll be some random German guy walking around in the middle of downtown Gaza that nobody knows, doesn't speak Arabic. He's gonna stand out. He's gonna stand out, right? Yeah. Even if he wasn't wearing that. All right. His intel isn't spying. It's more like, hey, we'll pay you. Give us information about Hamas, so on and so forth. Pay this person, get the information. Boom.
So they would enter Gaza.
They'll enter Gaza. Yes. And we'll give them air support as well.
Hold on. Knowing air support means bombing. No. But hold on. Enter Gaza, knowing that they are recognizable.
Yes.
All right. Knowing that they are recognizable.
Heavily populated area.
In a heavily populated area, knowing that
Hamas is waiting for them.
Bro, you're leading them to their death.
Yeah, they're mercenaries. That's their job. That's their job. That's their what I
don't think that would actually.
Why did it worked in Iraq? They worked in Iraq.
The Iraq invasion?
Yeah, the Iraq invasion. They did the bombing, shock and awe. That's essentially to get rid of the army, right? Yeah. They bomb. Then they come in.
Didn't it take 2 weeks to take over Iraq?
Yes, because of the bombing.
I mean, that's the modern way of fighting. It is to
shock and awe. Yeah.
You
drop the bombs,
bomb the thing, and then the army comes in.
Yeah,
that's usually the method.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Why?
Maybe there are other ways. I don't think that's realistic, but maybe there are other humanitarian ways of doing them. But then again, I'm not a war strategist. I'm not on the ground. I don't have knowledge of how intimate the situation is.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for us to talk. From England.
We know enough though. We know enough that Hamas is intimidating enough that you drop bomb first and then you walk in.
You're talking about a force. You're talking about Hamas. Hamas is someone who has a very strong grip on the population.
Yeah.
The population sides with them as far as the religious beliefs go.
Ooh, despite the judgment.
Don't you think so?
Not necessarily.
Bro, they voted. The majority voted for Hamas
Once.
twice.
Twice?
Apparently, recently,
Yeah.
60%, 67%.
That's fine.
They voted the first
That's
time.
fine. That's
They
fine.
won by about 78% or something like
but
that.
you and I both know Hamas kills their opposition.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's that too.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Yeah.
There's the fear that Hamas imposes on the people,
Mhm.
which doesn't give them freedom of thought.
Mhm.
Do you see what I'm saying? For them to actually think twice.
Yeah.
Because I do not believe that.
Like ISIS did. You remember ISIS?
I do not believe that every Palestinian
Yeah.
sides with Hamas
It's impossible.
completely
Impossible.
on everything that Hamas believes in regards to the
One
religion.
could argue they hate Hamas.
But the thing is, given the fact that the two votes and the majority has,
Yes.
but you're right in saying they could have been forced.
Yes.
They could have, anything could have happened in that situation.
Yeah.
But I would assume that the majority, 98%, are Muslims in there, right?
Probably 90. Yeah, 90. Yeah, because there was a church there. So
There was a church there.
Yeah, it's a large
exactly.
percentage. Yeah.
So what? And
Pastors.
the way Hamas fights,
Yeah.
like you said, is Barcelona's shirts and Madrid shirts. So it's and Hamas is willing to sacrifice its own people.
Yeah.
In order to win wars.
Yeah.
Sorry, in order to fight Israel. So I'm looking at the situation like that's gonna be literally impossible because first of all I don't see the people betraying Hamas
because they have no option, though.
Yeah, exactly. They have no option.
I feel sorry for them, man.
I do as well. I really don't see how they would even attempt to betray Hamas.
Fair enough.
And knowing what Hamas can do to them if they are found out.
You're too certain of that.
Yeah,
You're too certain of that.
I am too certain of that. I'm not saying all.
Yeah.
But I do see the majority.
Yeah, I agree.
I do see the majority not betraying Hamas, bro. I really do.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, I just don't see how that's even feasible. Like, I don't see how that's.
It's just enough to counteract. To take them. Yeah, I think I can see it work. I can see it. Those moves really just.
I think because you're Muslim and you care about your Muslim people.
That's not true.
Hold on. I think
if they were Christians, I would think the same thing.
Hold on. I think that it's almost like, what's the best way of doing this without, what I'm saying? So many
all
people.
Human beings.
And I feel the same way too.
Sure.
Make no mistake. I feel the same way too.
Cool.
But it's like, but you're dealing with Hamas. It's not necessarily just the people.
Yeah.
And the people will be too shook to betray Hamas or whatever. And if you've got mercenary walking around that's easily recognizable, it's like how.
Fair enough.
They could snitch. Let's say I see you, right?
Yeah.
I see you and you're a mercenary, and I can see that you are not. He's Somalian. We don't usually see too many Somalis in Palestine, in Gaza. And then this guy's obviously a mercenary.
Yeah.
They start talking, whispering to each other.
Yeah.
Before you know it, there's a Hamas guy leading you down the. You see what I'm saying? Somewhere and telling you, come with me.
Yeah, but they're not.
You're done.
You keep going on like the mercenaries are wearing high vis. They're not working. They're all wearing high vis.
They're not wearing high vis.
It's not skins versus top.
They're not wearing high vis.
Yeah. They're full army to fatigue gear. They've got everything they can need. This latest technology.
Yeah.
They've got whatever support they want. They've got Israel, the Israeli government, the IDF supporting them at any point. Right?
Yeah.
They've got everything, right? Well armed, well equipped, right? So let's say they're trotting down with their brand new Humvee, going just looking for tunnel, and then somebody sees them, drops a bomb, no problem, right? Was the data collected? Where was this? Where were these rockets sent from? Who made this IDF? This improvised explosive device to kill these mercenaries.
Yeah.
How was it made? Where was it made? How far were they from any particular
okay. See,
and then we lock down the area. We say no problem. The IDF is coming in now. Cool. This is where the person died. No problem. We're locking down this whole area. looking under every tooth comb. Oh, there's a tunnel here, no problem. We'll go down the tunnel. Boom. Just
let's say
blow up that tunnel.
let's say a teenager comes out of a house.
Yes.
Out of nowhere and boom, and
Buys a
with
rocket
a missile,
Yeah.
or launches out.
Yeah.
You're saying
That can happen. Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And then guess what? The mercenary's dead, and it's like, I think there'll be more casualties as far as mercenary goes. I know you did mention that they are,
This
they're
is a good-
choosing,
yeah.
they're choosing to do it, but you're gonna have to keep sending mercenaries in.
This
I
is
just don't see it as being plausible.
this. You're right. This is also never ending. It seems like, as an objective, because they're so difficult. This is how I think it's why the US lost in Vietnam, right? They said they lost in Vietnam because they were
You believe that?
well, they lost in the sense that they expected to win and for the Vietnamese not to give up, right?
Yeah.
But the Vietnamese, they had all special types of booby traps. They were hidden in the jungle. They had tunnels. This is what Hamas is doing. They've got the whole
Jungle war is
guerrilla warfare, right?
Guerrilla warfare.
That's
That's
it,
it. Yeah.
That's their MO, right? And it's very because it worked. It didn't work.
That's like Hamas in Palestine.
That's
the
the
same.
Taliban in Afghanistan.
There you go.
They're back after what I think the US spent $2 trillion trying to kill the Taliban, and they're back again. Right.
They're back again?
Yeah, they run. The Taliban is the official government in Afghanistan.
So what was the point?
Yeah.
What was the point?
Yeah. And Israel doesn't have $2 trillion to waste on Gaza.
Do you think this will? You really believe that Israel won't do it?
Do what? Oh, what we spoke about last time. We spoke about yesterday.
Yeah.
You said yesterday they are willing to resort to killing 2 million people to get rid of Wiper. Hamas is an idea.
No, I said.
As you said,
no, hold on.
It's not a particular.
What I said is, what if?
It's not La Liga. You know?
La Liga.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What I said was, what if they said, in order to kill off Hamas, we are willing to do that.
No.
What then? But
Israel
you
loses immediately.
You said.
Yeah.
Hamas is banking on, in a sense, the Jews having the good sense.
Yes.
Of not actually going ahead.
Not the Jews.
Sorry, the Israelis
Yeah.
having a good sense of not actually, or the good heart of not actually going ahead. And
it doesn't work out hard.
Huh?
It doesn't. It's just technically, it's a tactical move. You don't do that.
Huh?
You don't do that.
Don't do what?
You don't. Cool. Yeah. So finish your sentence, but
Yeah.
Okay,
So basically, what I'm saying is, because we established that Hamas, when they did that, when they did what they did on the 4th,
they were goading them.
They knew that there would be a response.
Yes.
Okay, and they knew that they couldn't win the war.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you know you can't win the war, what was the why carry out the attack? But you said okay, and why carry out the attack? That's what I'm thinking to myself. Okay, why carry out the attack? Obviously, you knew they would respond. Now that they're trying to get rid of you, how are you going to defend yourself?
Okay, cool.
The only way you can defend yourselves if you bank on Israel having the good heart or the good sense not to go ahead.
Okay, let's stop. Okay, so there's a few things you're picking up there. One is you're making. One is Hamas goaded them to attack them, and they're banking on the fact that Israel is not willing to kill 2 million people in an effort to destroy a 30,000 man army that they can't see. That's always attacking them, but they can't see.
That's right.
And they can't locate, right? And I said they will not do that, and you said you're not sure. Are you sure they'll do that? You agree with me or disagree with me? And then the second point is, what's the objective? Yeah, go.
Yeah. No. My point that I made yesterday is, what if they were willing to do that?
Nobody's willing to do it. They're not willing to do that.
But that's because you're hoping that they're gonna have. It's like if I was dealing with a lethal enemy,
which is Israel.
Let's say if Israel is a lethal enemy,
it is, yeah.
Then I'm sorry to say, Hamas wouldn't even dare to do that. Hamas would have said, hell no.
Yeah.
These guys are willing, because we saw what Hitler could do.
Yeah.
We saw what Stalin could do.
Yeah.
So if you know, there's examples in history where human beings have gone on and killed 60 million, have gone on and killed 20 million.
Nothing, yeah.
What is 2 million in Gaza?
Yeah.
So the thing is, unless Hamas, if Hamas fought Israel,
they know they won't do that. Israel
but that's what I'm saying. the reason is that's what I'm
Israel
saying.
won't do that.
But to peak the psychology,
Yeah.
the psychology is
Yeah.
Hamas knows that this is not a lethal enemy.
They are lethal enemy, but they're not willing to go to that extent.
Lethal is Stalin. That's a
Okay.
lethal
Okay.
enemy.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, sure.
That's a lethal
Yeah,
enemy.
what's your point now?
The point is like, what was the objective?
So you're saying you believe that Israel is not willing to kill 2 million people because they're not like that? You're saying this?
Yeah, yes. They Hamas were banking on Israel
No.
having the good sense or the good heart not to actually go ahead and kill
And
2 million in order to get rid of them. So what they
And you're
did,
saying they won't.
yeah. So what they
Okay,
did
cool.
was actually
Actually-
quite malicious, really.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, what's the objective? You're
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, what was the objective
Okay,
apart from causing, apart from killing loads of people
Yeah.
very quickly,
Their own people.
and massacring people?
Their own people.
Huh?
Their own people. Their own people at risk as well.
Sorry, their own.
Hamas putting their own people.
They
at risk
kill their own people as well. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about Thomas.
I'm saying Hamas knew that Israel would be killing their citizens. Hamas.
Yeah, Hamas also
Gaza
knew.
citizens,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you start a war that you know you're not gonna win. You put you put your people at risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certain risk because you go to them enough. You did the worst thing you could possibly do.
Exactly.
Mm.
So to me, I'm trying to understand Hamas psychology.
Not psychology. Objective.
Yeah, what is the objective?
That's a good question. I think there's a few. One, the hostage exchange.
Hostage. Why is it so important? The hostage.
Well, they made it their business to take hostages, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Who does Israel have?
Who?
That's a good question.
They have hostages too, right?
Yeah, but they're not random people.
Okay.
They're not going to be random people. Because you have 2020
All
to
right.
the US willing to trade international arms dealers,
All right.
mass murderers, for some sexually androgynous basketball player who likes to vape with Russia.
Yeah.
Maybe Hamas saw that as an opportunity, said, hey, these guys are maybe getting soft. Maybe if we take their people, because they're so afraid of looking to look like they're doing the right thing, they want to be woke, as it were.
That's a good point.
They're willing to trade mass murderers and lunatics for bisexuals and homosexuals, right?
There you go.
Maybe we should pick up one of their people and say, hey, we'll hold on to your people. Give us our people. And I seriously doubt, no matter how corrupt and evil and twisted the Israeli government is, that the majority of the people they hold captive are going to be meaningless victims, meaningless people. Some of them are going to be former Hamas military strategists. Some of them are going to be real mass murderers, lunatics, who would really benefit Hamas's. They're missing pieces to Hamas's arsenal.
Okay.
That's an assumption. And
Actually, it's very plausible.
Yeah.
I actually understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they thought they could convince them to release certain
because they've got a few
certain prisoners.
Yeah, because they've already got a few hostages back, right?
Yeah.
And they seem pretty satisfied enough with what they've gotten that they can start shooting at people at bus stops, apparently, right? In Tel Aviv. Yeah, I don't know if you know it's a terrorist attack. That's what stopped the ceasefire.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
That's what stopped the ceasefire, right? So they're still like, you know what, we're
They
good.
both killed those two.
There's people in the bus stops, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we've got our people safe. Let's start shooting again, go back to war, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Second thing is Israel has now sort of not halted, but the normalization between Israel, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and countries like this has not stopped. But there is you can't be dropping bombs on Arabs in Palestine and Muslims in Palestine and expect the Gulf nations to shamelessly set up an embassy next to Riyadh or Jeddah, an Israeli embassy in Dubai, an Israeli embassy in Doha, Qatar, an Israeli embassy in Bahrain, an Israeli embassy in Saudi, because it really just makes you look bad, and it's the wrong time, right? Okay. They just killed 14,000 apparently.
Are you saying they don't have embassies there?
They don't have embassies there. Saudi Arabia, Israel has no embassies in the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
They don't have them. And why
is that?
Because Israel's like, we don't fucking trust you, man. Yo, who are you, man?
What is Israel that don't trust them, or the
No,
Arabs
the
that
Arabs,
don't
the
want?
Arabs don't trust Israel.
Okay. All right.
Why would we trust him? And then since then, what's happened? So is my analysis, and this is my honest suspicion.
Is that because of the 1948 war?
Yeah, they went to war with them, and the least you can do is just like, you know what, we can't kill you, we can't get rid of you, we can't deal with you. The least we can do is not have good relations with you. Because as soon as you recognize a nation,
That makes sense.
yeah, as soon as you recognize a nation, they have rights. You have an ambassador.
Yeah, they have rights, and you have a relationship.
You have a diplomatic channel.
Okay.
You stop going to war. War goes off the table. It doesn't go off the table, but it really slows down.
Sounds like some deep hatred there.
Can you imagine? Can you blame them?
No, different nations have had wars before. I mean, World War II did take place. But now Germany is okay with England, and England is okay with England. Yeah. They have embassies set up in each other's countries and all of that. They have good relationships and all of that. Yeah. So what I'm basically saying, the reason why I mentioned what I said.
But the Germans aren't from Argentina and South Africa and Benin, you know, and they're mainly Christians. If Germany was an African collection of Africans and South Americans and Indians and whatever, and they wanted to conquer, they violently conquered a part of and Europe went to war. What I'm saying is the Israelis, a good proportion, all of them aren't Jews, all of them aren't Muslims, right? The majority of them aren't Muslims, right? Yeah. That's one. Two.
But there's Muslims in Israel.
There are Muslims in Israel, and there are Jews in Syria and Iran and
there's Jews
and Morocco and places like this. Yeah. But again, there's still that tension. That your argument of deep hatred isn't so founded, right? It's not.
It is, bro.
There are X amount of Jews in Iran. There are X amount of Jews in Syria. There are X amount. It's just these political nations.
But it's not. It's a very small minority. But what I'm basically saying is, it's like. When you
and
have,
it's not as if Israel sprouted out of nowhere. It was a military.
An embassy speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes.
An embassy speaks volumes, and just because you had a war, it doesn't mean that.
That's a good point.
It doesn't mean that you can't establish relationships,
bygones,
especially if there's Jews living in there.
Yeah.
Especially if there's Muslims living in Israel.
Yeah.
So even if they're a small minority, especially if they are, there should still be some kind of.
Yes, but you can imagine. First of all, how Israel was established, that putting a sour taste in the Arabs' mouth for at least a good decade or two, and on top of that, the negotiations, the conflicts, Al Jazeera showing people for decades, Arabs being slaughtered and shot in the head, and hijabi women being.
There's a bad history there.
Yeah, there's a bad history. So you can accept it's not hatred. It's just a case of things just don't look good right now. No matter how good it is for us to have good relations, let's let things cool down, right?
How long?
Again, there's always things. You have the establishment of Israel through violence. That takes at least 20 to 30 years. Then you have the ongoing conflict between Arabs and Muslims, Arabs and Israelis within Palestine, and that being, not looking good. And then that takes that makes it 20 to 30 years.
If I'm going to be honest, this is never ending.
Anyway, so Hamas gets a good proportion of their funding and their guns and whatever from Iran. And they have Hezbollah's support.
KD says, how long you streaming for? Yo, bro, we're going to be here for as long as possible, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we can stop at any time, or we can
maximum another 45 minutes.
Yeah, maximum another 45 minutes.
But thanks for joining us, man. It's good fun.
Come on, man. Shout out to KD, man.
Yeah. But anyway, so as I was saying, you have Iran has their interest in the area. Iran, I can't imagine Iran being happy with Israel and Saudi having good, and the Gulf nations having good relations, right?
Neither can I.
Yeah. October 7th happens. That kind of puts a damper on Israel-Saudi, negotiations, normalization, right? Late October, Saudi Arabia and Iran start having good relations. I think I could Google it now. Iran, Saudi, call, right? So Gulf states fed off claims for Iran first time Riyadh summit, blah, blah, blah. Iran calls Saudi. Iran just calls Saudi to discuss military. This is 8 days ago. Yes. So yes. There you go. So Iran calls Saudi Arabia to discuss military relations. Saudi Arabia and Iran officially discuss relationships between the two countries related to military and defense over the phone. According to state news agency, Saudi Arabia and Iran resumed diplomatic ties in March after years-long breach. Okay, so it may be a case of Iran is like, you know what, these guys are ganging up on us. Let's just cause some issues over there to stop these two guys meeting up and trying to be best buddies. Let's get in there quicker. Because as soon as Israel and Saudi Arabia and these Gulf nations start to really normalize and Iran keeps its position, because Iran is a puppet state or client state of Russia, right? And the US and Saudi are America.
Yeah.
Saudi's getting a bit more comfortable not being told what to do.
Don't they all have ties?
What? Russia, client states?
Saudi and Americans and British and
oh yes, of course. Yes.
Iran with the Russians and
yes, but it's separate, right? It's Iran and Russia and Saudi Arabia and the US.
So when you say puppet, because puppet, the word puppet is a strong word.
Client, that's why I changed the client nation.
Yeah.
So that could be another thing. There's a lot of this October 7th for it to happen like this, for it to be allowed to happen, even though Israel knew before this, and so on and so on. There's too many cooks. There's too many moving parts of this.
So do you
for
think,
it to be simply we want the Jews gone and we will not be happy until the Jews are gone? Because it's just like you can wish them to be gone, but the whole world is behind them and nobody's behind you, and you're stuck under tunnels. So
I mean, you kill 1,400 people in order to remember the idea that you proposed. You said you kill. Let's say they could have done it because they knew that Israel is part of this Western woke mentality, and they thought, if we just kill a couple of people, we can probably get some hostages back.
Yeah,
there's some probably important hostages in there, prisoners in there.
Yeah,
1,400.
Sure. What's up?
That's a lot to kill.
Yeah, I guess if you have maybe how many of what was the festival? They're probably like a few hundred. Maybe the numbers aren't true. Who knows?
Yeah.
Apparently, some of the vehicles that were destroyed using particular investigations showing helicopters. Hamas doesn't have.
We can
the
postulate.
Israeli government has.
We can postulate. We can kind of think what is true, what is not true.
Yeah.
What is true these days is what the news reported as true. Unfortunately.
Oh, that's it.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And when I say that's true, I think what I really mean is official. It is official. Sure. So according to what's official is 1,400. And that's why I'm like, that's a lot of people for you to just get some hostages back. You're really pissing off a nation if you're going to go ahead and do all of that. This is what I'm really trying to understand. At first, what I was trying to do is establish the objective. Why are you doing this?
Yes.
Okay, and then you kind of, you said, it could be because of that. That could be one of the reasons why. And at first I thought, that's plausible. But then I thought, that's way too many people for you to kill.
Yeah, but that's another military issue.Maybe you just kill 1,400, Django Unchained.
Yeah.
What is?
Because the thing is, he is a Netanyahu. He turns around. And he from the very beginning he called it a war. He didn't even call it. Let's try and.
Yeah.
He said this is war. That's it. So, and he's well aware of all the different relationships that's going on in the Gulf.
Yeah.
He's well aware of all of that. So for him to make such a it's war.
Yeah.
And we're going to annihilate them and all of that type of stuff, bro. I don't know, but is there an end to this? Because if that was Hamas's intention, mission failed.
What, to get hostages?
Yeah. No,
why?
They got some.
Yeah,
they got some.
Yeah,
but
maybe they got the important ones.
But the thing is, what's happening to them is the country's being flattened.
Occupied.
Sorry.
Occupied as well.
And occupied.
Reoccupied, yeah.
It's being flattened and occupied. So to me, it's like, what, for some hostages? So the only thing it could really be is, we don't think you're going to kill 2 million people.
And they won't.
That's the part I wanted to get to. Before we move on, that's the part I wanted to get to. And they won't.
Yeah.
Because I think Hamas is looking at it like that as well.
I know that.
There's no, you know what? Guys, I can see him telling these people, don't worry about a few of you dying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because they won't kill all of us. A couple of thousands, me saying it like that. Because Hamas must have known what the hell was going to happen. Even if they had okay, they miscalculated and then they went too far, killing 1,400, and then they didn't think, that these woke weirdos were going to say war. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it's like right now, what's happening is the only thing that justifies what Hamas is doing right now is the idea, it's this idea of they won't kill all of us, guys. Don't worry about it. They'll keep killing us, but they won't kill all of us. That's the only thing they got, because right now what they're doing is literally sacrificing Palestinian people. What all they need to do is surrender. All they need to do is say, you know what, we love our people. We started this shit. We're the ones who went in there. We're the ones who did October 7th. We don't want more of our people. If they cared, if they loved, if they really loved their people, they would say, you know what, we surrender. The Palestinian people will be safe, and then they could establish a government or establish some kind of like a two-state, whatever, kind of agreement, and then the Palestinians could choose a new leader to rule over them and have a peaceful relationship. But Hamas is literally sacrificing its own people over something that they start. I'm sure they didn't go around and have a vote and told most of the Palestinians and said, look, guys, we're about to do this on October 7th. Do you guys agree on that? I'm sure they didn't consult the rest of the Palestinian people. Why are you seeing it in
such a two-dimensional way?
Because why do it that way?
You assume too much, man. You assume too much. You assume too good of Israel. You assume too good of Israel.
No.
This is what one of the last callers mentioned. He said Hamas was funded by Israel, given money by Israel. And because they didn't like the idea of a secular, pro-Western, stable political government in Gaza, because that'd be competition for them, so they funded Hamas. And you said the reason why they gave the money was not for Hamas to basically take away from the people and create weapons. What I said was, people give money to each other all the time. Yeah. To different organizations all the time. Yeah. USA gave money to Hamas. Yeah. Iran gives money to Hamas. Yeah. But what are do they tell you what the reasons are? Do they tell you that this money is for you to go and spend it on weapons instead of food, instead of infrastructure for your country? Yeah. They don't. Yeah. So even if Israel did give money, no, bear in mind, I have no dog in this fight. Yeah. What I'm basically saying is I don't care about what Israel, that's their ideology, that's what they believe in, this is what they, that's up to them. Yeah. I'm a Christian, we have a different way of thinking. Sure. So what I saw or what I have seen is October 7th happens and Israel retaliates. Yes. That's what I saw. Yes. That's what happened. Yes. You see what I'm saying? And now everyone, first in October 7th, everyone was pro-Israel. Yes. Now everything shifted, pro-Palestine. Yes. Yes. You see what I'm saying? So we are trying to make sense of where is this going? What happens now? You see what I'm saying? It's not about whether me being pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. It's not about I'm pro none of them. Yeah. But I do understand that if I am attacked, I have a right to defend myself, and I have a right to if I feel like this group is never going to stop, I have a right to get rid of them. Yes. And I think for the best thing that Hamas can do is not sacrifice more of its own people. Again, this is, you're assuming that Hamas is a stable, logical, wanting the best for its people entity.
It's precisely because I'm not assuming that that I'm saying that they need to stop this. Because that's what I'm trying to get at. You actually just described what I think of Hamas. That's what they are, and hence why they're willing to do what they're doing. Because that's what I'm trying to get my head around and trying to find, why did you do what you did? You stated, oh, it could be because they just wanted to release some prisoners, and then I said, well, but 1,400 though, bro, that's a lot. And you said, well, they could be making up the numbers, but then we agreed on. Bro, it could be what's official, what they say on the news is usually what everyone accepts as the truth. That's what everyone quotes, that's what everyone says, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to find out why.
We might never know.
I don't think we'll ever know. But it's good to talk about it.
The question is, what will they do next? What will Israel do next? What will Hamas do next? Israel's made it very clear they're willing to bomb and bomb and bomb and bomb and bomb until they're told not to do so by very important people.
Is that what Hamas is banking on?
I don't think that. If I'm 100% honest with you,
It must be. That's the only card they have to play, bro.
I think they're just they call Gaza an open air prison, and Hamas are the guys who lift those guys in the gym in prison who lift the heaviest weights, and they're always by the weight rack. Yeah, that's Hamas.
No, they're the bullies as well.
Yeah, they're the bullies as well.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. Yeah, but bro,
you know the guy, that one guy that's got a towel.
Yeah.
And the other one's like this, and the other one's holding it. They're all like, it's like the towel grip like this.
Yeah.
And they're like helping each other. Like one's got the lower level, one's pulling down, doing the triceps. The other one's pulling up doing the biceps with the towel. That's Hamas, man. And I don't think they give a shit about. I don't think they care about. I don't think they're just the mafia. They're just the mafia.
I'm glad you said that because, and this is why I think.
I don't think they give a shit about the people. I don't think they give a shit about Israel. I don't think they give a
so
shit about Islam.
should Israel continue to exterminate them?
Not like this.
There you go.
Not like this.
You mentioned Figgy. You mentioned the other option, which is to
Send in troops.
Sending no, you call them mercenaries.
Yeah, send in mercenaries.
Sending mercenaries over.
If I was Israel.
If you were Israel.
If I was Israel, I'll be 100% honest with you. I could go down that path, assuming Hamas is an entity that can be beaten. But you're arguing the point they cannot be beaten, they cannot be feared. They will just cause it will be never.
Because they're willing to sacrifice their own.
The ultimate thing Israel can do, right? If I was Israel, I would just occupy Gaza. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm coming in and I'm never leaving.
That's
because
what
I left, and this is what you did. Yeah. But then again, Israel funding Hamas. So
what do they fund them for? What do they give them money for?
To be crazy, to be lunatics, to be untrustworthy. Because Gaza had the PLO, whatever it's called. From what I hear, they were stable, capable, willing to negotiate with intelligent people, educated people at the helms, right? Israel didn't like that. Israel didn't like having the idea of competition, serious competition that can have prosperity, growth, and success. They said, let's fund Hamas, let's fund these lunatics.
So right? They funded
just
Hamas.
like the US did with.
Is that before Hamas going to power?
Yeah, it's before Hamas.
So who was
the
previous
PLO.
to Hamas? The PLO.
Yes.
What was? I know that's an abbreviation, right?
Yeah, the political Palestinian liberation something. Like
something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Palestinian liberation. So they were in power,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So was everything peaceful between Israel and PLO?
There weren't rockets being flown over, as far as I know. It wasn't this bad. I don't think.
It wasn't this bad.
Yes. Again, this is from what I hear from other people. But the PLO were.
That's something I'm gonna have to check up on.
Yeah.
To see if everything was peaceful. So what? So.
But then again, to be fair, the US has done this before. The British have done this before. So it's a known tactic to fund the loot. They did it with Patrice Lumumba in Congo.
In Congo.
Look how rich Congo would be with an intelligent, capable person looking for liberation and independence. But they got rid of him, chopped him up, and they had the guy with the funny hair. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
They literally chopped up Patrice Lumumba in the bushes. You see Belgium special forces saying, yes, we knocked his teeth out. We took machetes, we chopped him up into little pieces and threw his body into the weeds, right? Yeah. And then we propped up this lunatic who wants to take all the money from his country, bankrupt his country, sell out his country's future for our interests. Because the only thing worse than the second to not being able to enslave your enemies, the people who have some sort of position that you can take advantage of or you like to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Second only to that is to give them somebody that will sell their nation out on your behalf. It was the same. It was in Congo, the same in that situation. Perfect situation is Iran. Iran had Mossadegh after the British influence left.
Yeah.
The British really didn't want Iran making money off its own oil, right, and being independent, an independent wealthy nation. Yeah. Iran had Mossadegh. The US funded overthrowing Mossadegh to have the Shah of Iran in. The Shah of Iran was selfish, royalty, a prince kind of, right?
Yeah.
He called him the king. He called himself the king of kings, right? The Shah. That's what he called himself.
King of Kings.
Yeah, that was his title, right?
Was he a rapper?
He dressed like one. Pro-secular, pro-Western, right?
Yeah.
Women were not allowed to wear, Islamic clothing and whatever, all this type of stuff. Very Western.
Really?
Yeah, but they got rid of him because he was putting a lot of money into his own military because he wanted Iran to be great. They wanted him to be a sellout. He was self-serving. They assumed he would be, but he was also self-serving to the point where he wanted his nation to be great as well, as an extension of himself.
Okay.
And it's like, get rid of this guy. Then they funded Islamic lunatics like and they funded revolutions and rebellions. Look at this guy, he's wasting your money, blah blah. He's doing this, whatever. Encouraging protests within Iran or whatever. And then they sent, and then the Islamic Republic comes in, right? Which really, they're just lunatics. You can't argue with them. You can't deal with them. They're nutcases, right? Which gives you reason to sanction Iranian oil, gives you reason to limit Iranian growth, which means there's one less person you have to compete with.
So why fund an extreme Islamic movement that's anti-Jew?
Yeah.
Why fund them? It's like
if you start a fire,
to your own detriment.
If you start a fire next door,
yeah,
eventually it's gonna come to you, but it's gonna burn down the house next door before it comes to you, right? And it is far easier to manage the flames of the house burning next door rather than having your neighbors becoming successful and competing with them.
Hamas came into power in 1988.
Yeah, sure.
Around that time.
Sure.
It's 2023, bro.
Sure. What's up?
They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped firing.
They're lunatics. They're not meant to stop. They're nutcases.
To me, then the reason why it logically doesn't make sense to me is because it's like Israel created a bigger problem.
They created the perfect problem. What's worse? Having a few of your citizens dying on an annual basis because of this terror group, right? That causes issues, and it always has a knife to your throat. Or points a knife at you from across the road. Actually, it doesn't point a knife. Points a knife to your throat across the road. Or a successful nation that is able to gather itself, become successful, become prosperous, and becomes competition for you. What's the two options? There's an old proverb. There's an old Soviet proverb, I think, right? An angel or whatever, some deity comes to a man. He says to him, whatever I give you, I'll give double to your neighbor. He goes, all right, I want a larger farm. Something like this. He goes, cool. Your neighbor's farm is going to be as large as yours. He goes, all right, I want a beautiful wife. There's no problem. Your neighbor's going to have two beautiful wives. Something like this, right? And he goes, I want to be blind in one eye as well. No problem. Your neighbor will be blind in both eyes. Throughout history, over and over again, capitalism loves competition when it can control it, hates competition when it gets out of hand. Capitalism is, let's run this race, but if I see you beating me and I can't I'm going to trip you off. That's capitalism. That's what it is.
So your philosophy is that Israel funded Hamas to, in a sense, self-destruct or create.
Yes, and they've done success. If that was their objective, they've done it successfully because they threaten Israel.
Hold on, you said
they sacrifice their people.
Hold on, if you said if that was the objective,
it seems like from what I'm hearing, it is the objective.
Okay, from what you're hearing,
yeah.
And you're sure that the funding was for Hamas?
Netanyahu said himself. No, one of the former presidents of Israel said, "I regret funding Hamas."
I regret funding Hamas.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I can get you the quote. I can tell you.
All right. So, that's crazy that they would fund a group of people that had this much
but they did
hatred towards them.
They did it in South America. The U.S. sold drugs in a city in a city America.
Yeah.
Took the money. I think you know this.
Yeah.
You know this?
No.
So they sold drugs. The CIA sold drugs in the inner city.
Yeah.
Took the money, bought weapons. No, they took money. They took heroin and they took cocaine from the South Americans.
Yeah.
Sold it to the the black community in a city.
Oh yeah.
And and they got that money and they sold weapons to Iran to help Iran fight Iraq.
Yeah.
So the idea of committing madness, doing wrong to stifle doing evil
Yeah.
to stifle your enemy's progress
Yeah.
is another form of success.
And you're saying that, Israel did all of this,
I can imagine they did. I heard that they did, and I can believe that they did.
but you can believe that they did, but you're not certain.
Yeah.
You are certain.
I'm as certain as the people who tell me this, and these are reputable journalists, and I can yeah.
So you're saying that they did all of this so that they could stifle the competition, so that they could stop Palestine from becoming a powerful nation.
Yes.
That could rival them.
Yes, because just off the coast of Gaza, Gaza has a gas field or an oil field or offshore drilling or oil that's worth 500 billion or something like this.
Okay.
Well.
So basically, it's like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, they did all of this to create, to destabilize Palestine to such an extent that they don't become rivals. So they did this by funding an extreme group who has pure hatred for them because they knew that they were lunatics and they would keep attacking them. And so therefore it would create constant fighting, which would stop the growth in Palestine, which would make sure that they always continue to live in poverty, that they could never become a strong nation, they could never rival Israel. Is that your
Yes, that's my perception.
It's an interesting analogy.
And I think on that note,
we can go to
we'll cut to the next episode tomorrow.
Next episode?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If
you don't mind.
Guys, listen.
Because my West Bank is getting
Yeah. These are midnight coffee thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Shout outs to KD for joining us, bro. Salute, true soldier. True supporter. But yeah, man, it was absolutely amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Expect these conversations more often, guys. Yeah. And we're gonna try and bring these conversations over to you way more often. Including the lives are not gonna stop. I'm still gonna be doing the lives, but we're gonna have these conversations as well. But yeah, shouts to all of you, man. Peace, salute. Hope you enjoy these midnight coffee thoughts.